Okay guys, so today I have to go out and spread the manure around on the garden. So I got up kind of early today, and that's basically the plan. Spread out poop. There's not much to it, just spread out the poop. So I guess I'm gonna show you guys how I make coffee. So I use one of these little Dealy Mawappers. I think it's like a French press or something or another. Anyways, what I do is I will heat up water almost to boil, not quite. So that looks like it's pretty much done. And then I got to get the coffee out of the fridge. And so I just use regular old Folgers Classic Roast. Just regular coffee. You don't have to have fancy coffee or nothing. I'll just get like maybe 2.5 of these little scoops here. 2, yeah, about like that. So that's it. And then we'll come over here and get our water. And then we just pour our water in. And then I just put the top on it and just leave it up like that and just let it sit there for like 5 minutes. Okay, so that's been there for 5 or 6 minutes, and now what I do, this thing has like a little screen in it with a seal that seals against the glass. So when you push it down, it just pushes all the coffee grounds to the bottom. You could probably just leave it up like that, because it would filter it out as you pour, but I always just push it all the way to the bottom. And then that's it. Then you just pour your coffee. And to me, that seems a lot easier than using like a Keurig, which we have. And I've got those little cups that you can put like a filter in, or it has a filter built into it, and you can use regular coffee. But that seems like a lot of a hassle, rather than just put some coffee in there, dump some water in it, and just wait, and then just push the thing down and pour it. It just seems easier. So that's usually how I do it. It makes 2 cups at a time. We're not big coffee drinkers. I might have 2 cups a week or something like that. So usually just when I have to get up and do something. So that's how I do it. Well, here we are. Nobody came out here and did it for me, so looks like we've got grass growing in it. I was hoping maybe weeds wouldn't be a big problem, but there's not a lot, I guess. Quite a bit over here. See, I gotta get these big piles of poop all scattered out here. Maybe dig all this baling twine out of it. It's pretty thick right in there. So I'm going to have to haul a bunch of it from there and put up here in this corner. Right in here. I didn't have him put any in here because I knew it was awfully thick down there, so. Well, I guess there's nothing to do but to do it. I probably won't film me doing this, so I just need to get in and get it done. So I guess that's what I'm gonna do. Alright, so it's been about 45 minutes or so, maybe an hour, and I've got about a quarter of it done. all this in here is done, down to, you can kind of see that line that runs along there. I still have to go down there to that end because it's really deep. Some of it down there is like 8 inches deep. I need to shovel it up and move it up here up into this corner, and it shouldn't take too much longer, a couple hours maybe. I wanted to kind of till it under, but it's pretty wet, so I probably won't till. I'll just get it spread out where it can not be clumped up. Okay, so the deal here is, most of that down there was spread out pretty good by the tractor bucket. The way he did it was he just brought in a bucket and basically dumped it and then drug it back. It was a little too clumpy to feather out and back up and dump slowly, so he just dumped it pretty much and then drug it back. So all that down there is pretty well spread out. This up here was a little more sparse because I told him to stop bringing buckets because I didn't want there to be too much. And I've never really done it like this before, so this might even be too much. I really don't know. But this is what I'm going with. I think once we till it in, it'll be pretty good. So I basically just shot that little clip of me in the wheelbarrow to show you guys how I'm doing this corner up here, which is kind of obvious, but I make YouTube videos about the things that I do, and even though they're kind of self-explanatory, these are the things that I do. So anyway, I've probably got 3 or 4 more wheelbarrows to go down there and get, and then I'll probably rake around down there some, but it really doesn't need much. So I'll be done with this here in about an hour. So this whole job really only took about maybe 2 hours, 2.5. So I guess I'll go ahead and finish this and then come back. Alrighty, so I got her all done here. I got all that spread out over there. Any of those bare spots like that you see, it's not really bare. There's cow manure there. It's just that, you know, it rained and everything. But everywhere where it's kind of bare, there already was about the right amount there. I did mess with that down there because it was way too deep. I took, I think, 4 or 5 wheelbarrows full up here and dumped in that corner. So kind of spread that out a little. Then I took a rake down there and spread it out a little bit more. Spread this out over here a little bit. And then all this up here. So there's not really one part of the garden that has a lot more than any other. There still probably is more down there, but it is what it is. It looks fairly even to me when I look at it, so that's what we're going with. And it is too wet to till. This up here isn't too awful bad. I would probably maybe try to till that. But down there, see, this ground kind of slopes downhill that way. So from about those cages right there on is pretty soupy and wet. It takes, my wife's grandma said that it takes a long time for the bottom down there to dry out. Not a long time, but, you know, a few days longer than what up here takes. So, I guess we're done with that. I thought this to be like an all-day job, but it really only took 2.5 hours or so, maybe I'll go home and eat lunch and feel like maybe messing with that rent house a little more. I might just save it for tomorrow. Who knows? But as for now, for this is done. Yeah, I'd say about 3.5 weeks I'll be putting the cabbage and cauliflower and broccoli in down there on that end. Up here is where all the tomato and cucumber cages and stuff are gonna go. So anyway, so I'll be messing with that down there. Here in about 3 weeks I'll go down there and till that up. I'll probably till it all up the day before I'm gonna put the plants in. So, you know, I'll come out here, you know, on whatever day and till it all up, and then the next day bring all the plants out and stick them in the ground. Even though it was 80 degrees yesterday, it's only about 64 today for a high. This morning it was about 45 when I left the house. And I think either Thursday and Friday or Friday and Saturday, the lows are going to be 30 degrees. So there's a pretty good chance of frost. So I'm a little worried about my pear tree at home. You know, everything's pretty much like blooming out because it's been pretty warm. But I'm afraid that pear tree's going to get frostbit again. It got it last year and I had to cut about half the branches off of it because they turned black. I'm really hoping the same thing doesn't happen this year, because that tree is already kind of starting to look ugly with all them missing branches and stuff, and if it happens again, I don't know. It's going to be a bad deal. So anyway, I hope that this works out. I hope this is not too much manure. Some of it, you know, is pretty composted. Like all that over there is pretty much just dirt. But this over here has got quite a bit of, you know, soft, mushy stuff in there. So I guess, I don't know, I guess we'll just see. And I won't probably do this every year. I'll just do this like every other year or something. I'll have to talk to somebody, or maybe one of you that knows a little more about it can tell me how often to do this. But I know my uncle didn't do it every year. I think he did it every other year. But I just hope this isn't too much. You know, I don't want to put all the plants in and then have them die, but I want them to be nice and healthy and have something to eat. So, I don't know. We'll see. So I decided to come over to this rent house for a little bit this evening. And I guess somebody's been digging around in here or something, because I did not throw a shopping cart in here.
And the shopping cart's under the couch.
shopping cart, yeah, so they've been messing around. That's weird. That's an old Walmart shopping cart.
Do we need a shopping cart?
No. Maybe the wheels off of it, they're pretty
like
good casters.
off that one show. What's that one show where they use the shopping
Trailer
cart?
Park Boys, Bubbles?
No, the show where they use the shopping cart as a grill.
Oh yeah, I don't know, but That's weird. So, we're getting this straightened up. Just about done here. I gotta clean the stove and fridge out and vacuum the floors and stuff. What's your problem?
Go away.
What's your problem?
Go away.
It's the dog
What's your problem?
Go away. I have a pretty strong stomach, but for some reason that just got me.
So this is the dog poop room. And we're just about done here. But I just thought I'd show you guys a little pee jug over here.
Plus there was like a hat with like poop they wiped off themselves on.
So they're wiping their butts with their hats and peeing in jugs.
And eating, because there were like pizza and breadstick pieces mixed in with it.
So I get to pick up somebody's piss jug, so that's fun.
Go away. I'm about to vomit.
I'm gonna open it and dump it in your hair.
You go away.
What would you do if I dumped it in your hair?
I would probably murder you, like literally.
You try and get your own self hurt. You might walk over, you be limping back.
Go away.
Alright, so the main trash part is pretty much done. Everything's emptied out. All the trash is gone.
Guys.
So now I just need to get a broom in here and kind of sweep up the larger chunks and then vacuum. Yeah, well, I'll probably use the vacuum that they left here to vacuum the floors.
Yeah, see if it works.
Not only that, but if I tear it up, who cares?
Yo, what's up?
So, I guess all that's left is, cleaning up the floors, clean out the stove, and clean out the refrigerator, and I'll be done.
Ow.
Well, well. That did not take long, did it? Looky here. Wonder what caused them to germinate so fast. It's supposed to take like 7 to 10 days. There's 2 of them. There's a third one right there getting ready to poke up through.
I want to see.
Let's see. Yeah, there's not really any others, but...
I want to see.
Well, that's neat.
I'm gonna see.
Bubby, right there. You can just see it.
Yeah.
Well, guys, it's going to be another late upload, but it was a late night for me, so that's the way it goes sometimes. So, got the garden all spread out, the manure and everything, good to go. Got the rent house pretty close to being done, and a few of the seeds are germinating, so that's a pretty eventful day. Probably going to be a long vlog, but I'm no stranger to that, so oh well. Anyway, that's going to do it for today, and we'll see you tomorrow.